What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Fantasy Flex podcast from the Action Network and Fantasy Labs. I'm your host, Chris Raybon, and it is NFL week number 7. This is our player projections episode. I will be joined by one of the most accurate rankers in the game, Sean Koerner, in a second to give us our cardio kings, and then we'll get into our top 5s, guys we're high and low on, and some props. But quick reminder, all of our fantasy football content is available right now over on fantasylabs.com. Fantasy Labs NFL includes in-season rankings, waiver wire tips, and more. We've also added a survivor pool tool to help you make informed picks if you're still alive there. So be sure to use code FLEX20 for $20 off at fantasylabs.com/flex. Again, that's code FLEX20. Sean, what's up? How was your week? And who are our cardio kings, more importantly?
Oh, yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. Your week is more important. Your week is more important. It was a joke.
I already talked about my week. I got hooked, like 4 bets. I had Marvin Harrison Jr. got knocked out of the game on a long catch.
Oh, that was
lost
brutal, yeah.
that. Had a couple other bad beats. And then everything I won was just easy. So, essentially broke even. But, every single loss was a disaster. So, rather just get to the cardio kings. I know you had a good week 6. So tight end was Daniel Bellinger with 14, which is kind of surprising. But yeah, I guess K. Dotton drew a target, so he escaped the cardio king crown this weekend. We falsely gave it to, I forgot who we gave it to last week, but last week it was absolutely Noah Gray, who bounced back with a good game this week. But wide receiver, this brings me no pleasure. But the cardio king at wide receiver was Isaac Tisla with 22 routes. He saw an uptick in routes because Khalif Raymond was questionable. So he saw an uptick in routes. But the last person in the world Jared Goff wants to target is Tisla, which makes sense. I mean, he has 5 or 6, Pro Bowl caliber weapons in the offense. So I'm not expecting Tisla to get a ton of targets. But I thought he'd probably get one shot in such a full-time role. But Isaac Tisla was last week's the cardio king with 22 routes.
Yeah, Daniel Bellinger at 14 is good to see because he should not be involved in the passing game. I remember, so Daniel Bellinger, funny story, his first ever game of his rookie year, that was one of my top plays in week 1 was just his under. I was like, there's no way he's catching whatever, 19 yards worth of passes. So I was fading him from the start. And Tisla, he'll bounce back. We talked about it last week. Guy like J-Mo, who's quiet, and you had to kind of bump him down in the rankings, but at the same time, you couldn't bump him down too much because you kind of knew that they were going to be looking to get him the ball when he's hogging yardage and things out there. That leaves little for others, and that's how you get a cardio king. I'm sure we had some on the Falcons last night with Drake London going absolutely nuts as well. But we'll get into all that kind of stuff. But let's start with quarterback. This is another one of these interesting quarterback weeks in the top 5 where I feel like it's kind of a newish top 5 that we haven't really had before. Who do you got for your top 5 quarterbacks week number 7? Sean Koerner.
So I have Patrick Mahomes, number 1. Ooh. And then I have, it's been a while.
We back.
Patrick Mahomes, number 1. Jaden Daniels, Jalen Hurts, Caleb Williams, QB4. Love seeing that. And Dak, QB5. I'm assuming CD returns this week, so that's why he's in my top 5. If CD's ruled out, maybe he'll get a bit of a drop. But yeah, right now Dak's inside my top 5 as well.
Yeah, I got Jaden Daniels, Patrick Mahomes, Dak Prescott, Baker Mayfield, and Drake May, baby.
Oh yeah. May's tied for Dak, but May season is here. That guy is the real deal. Shocked you have Baker up there with every wide receiver hurt. You think he's just going to scramble for 40 yards?
Yeah, no, I quit. I think he ended up being my quarterback 5 or 6 last week too. It's just I'm just leaving him exactly where he is because he's showing it though now. This is 2 straight years where his receiving core is decimated and he's making it work. Cam Johnson, Tez Johnson, Ryan Miller have all caught touchdowns from Baker Mayfield this season in the last few weeks. So
we saw
MVP.
him. We saw him. The Rams. He had 2 days to learn the playbook. with that.
When Baker Bake. That was the initial.
I love seeing that clip every once in a while on Twitter where they're playing the Green Day not break stuff, brain stew, whatever it's called. It's one of my favorite clips, and I was like, oh shit, we were watching that. And half the time I was yelling at Sean McVay, put Kyron in there, you idiot. But yeah, that was the game where Baker's career just did a complete 180. MVP candidate this year. I don't blame you for just manually making him in your top 5. I might join you there, but he opens up.
I didn't. He's in my top 5. I'm saying I'm not going to remove him.
Oh, right.
I want my first thought would be, but not after watching him. I mean, he's passing the eye test too. He's like 2023 James Conner. I think it was
for sure.
It's that scrambling. He just always knows. He knows when to scramble. He's not throwing as many picks now. He's just scrambling out of trouble and making no-name guys catch touchdowns.
Yep.
So love me some Baker. Who are you high on this week? I think we got to know who you're high on.
Patrick Mahomes. Ever heard of him? He's my QB1 this week. And just it feels like it's been a while since he has been my top-ranked quarterback. It just seems like every week he's QB5. The best quarterback in the league. He just hasn't been there in fantasy purposes the past few seasons. We just haven't seen the explosiveness. But he's just playing at an unreal level right now. The offense itself is more explosive. He's throwing deep at his highest rate since his 2019 season, which was his second full season in the league. That's when, prime Mahomes slinging around the field to Tyreek Hill. He's also scrambling a ton right now. He's not slowing down there. He has 30-plus rushing yards in 4 of 6 games. I believe over 50 yards in half his games. And now he gets Rashee Rice back this week. Are you kidding me? Xavier Worthy's healthy. So Travis Kelce's been looking good for what could be, his final season. So just having Rashee Rice back could open things up even more for Worthy and Kelce. And Hollywood Brown's healthy, playing well. So just a lot to like with Patrick Mahomes. It's just been so long since I had him at QB1. I just had to highlight him this week as being just really stepping up this year. He's playing closer to his ceiling right now. And yeah, he opens the week as my QB1 for now.
Who's their backup now? Is it Minshew? Do you have Minshew playing a snap? A non-kneel down snap? They are like 11-point favorites. I want to, against the Raiders. I know that starts to push it toward the those outer limits.
Well, that would actually help Mahomes because he wouldn't lose. Sometimes Mahomes likes to kneel down -5, -10 yards like we've seen. So that would actually help him out. Give Gardner Minshew those revenge kneel downs at the end of the game would actually help Mahomes even more. Thanks for bringing that up. But yeah, the fact that they're big favorites. I think for them to blow the Raiders out, he'd probably have to throw a few touchdowns. So I think he still has a high floor in that scenario. But yeah, this is one of those games with that kind of spread where I do start to project the backup to get a kneel down.
Yeah, and I think that Mahomes is helped this year by the fact that, forget the yardage. He has 4 rushing touchdowns. That is he's played 6 games. How does he have 4 rushing touchdowns? Who is this guy? That's his career high.
Designed,
his career high. We're 6 games in.
Yeah, he when it was like a play action pass. I'm just going off the top of my head. Play action pass where he wasn't looking to throw. He just used the play action to have the defense by, and he just ran in for the score. I mean, he has massive rushing upside. He typically just saves it for the playoffs, but they're kind of in playoff mode right now, just needing to win games. So that's why he's just tapping into it. But he's always had that ability. They just don't like giving him sneaks and stuff like that. But anytime he's around the goal line, he's willing to run it in.
He's on pace for 600 rushing yards right now. His career high is 389, and his career high touchdowns is 4. He's on pace for 11. It's ridiculous.
Unreal.
And has Isaiah Pacheco got one on the ground yet?
No, he was close. He was close.
He's always he's close. Hunt has 3 and Mahomes 4. That is that's gonna be to see when Pacheco finally gets one, if he gets one, because that would be a whole new type of cardio king. How many carries can you get without getting into the? I think Thomas Jones back in the day used to do that. But I am high on Jared Goff this week. So last week was kind of saw it coming a little bit. Going on the road, outdoors, tough defense, desperate. in need of a win. You know, Lions riding high. So, you know, he had a pretty poor game. Did salvage it with a couple of touchdowns, but not much in terms of the yardage. But I think going up against this Bucs defense now, now it was a defense that gave him some problems a couple years ago. If I remember correct, it was like another high total, and they kept stopping him in the red zone. But that was like such a fluky game, and I don't know if they're going to be able to repeat that with you know, they're still banged up here. So I really like Goff this week. I think that, you know, anytime you're looking at Tampa Bay as an opponent, you have to remember that coaches just come into games against them and they just don't really want to run the football. And so I know the Lions have a monstrous run game, but we've seen them kind of put Montgomery on the back burner at times. We saw it last week, saw it a couple weeks ago. And then, you know, Gibbs, he's going to get his, but they can feed him in the passing game. So, yeah, I think this is a really good spot for Goff, who has a passing touchdown rate of 8% right now, which is ridiculous, and also leads the NFL in completion rate at 75.9. So he's playing really well, even with the down game last week. Just got to hope he doesn't get vultured by Montgomery at the goal line. It almost happened again.
Well, I mean, in Cincinnati, they had to give Monty those carries because it was his hometown game.
No, I'm talking about throws. Montgomery threw another touchdown.
Right.
He threw another touchdown. It got wedged off.
Yeah, no, that was ridiculous.
I mean, I'm starting to get worried here.
yeah. No, that's bullshit. What was it? Illegal motion? Like Goff didn't come set, right? It was like a ticky-tack thing.
Is that ever going to happen again? Like a couple weeks ago, didn't we have 2 or 3 running back touchdown passes? Like Akers threw one, I think Montgomery, and then we also have those 2 straight like those guys dropping the ball at the goal line, like all this and like in the block kicks before that. This has been a weird NFL year, man.
Yeah, no, that was an insane 2-3 week stretch. I think it's going to cool off a little bit, right? Has to.
Kind of like the guy you're low on's career cooled off.
Oh yeah,
who is it?
I was actually going to set it up that way. CJ Stroud, I'm low on. He's been playing well lately, but he's my QB 22 to open the week, and it's always shocking to see him outside my top 20 because it seems like yesterday we were ranking inside top 5. Everything was copacetic, but that's just the nature of the offense right now. But he is coming off a 4 touchdown game before the bye. But we just have to remember that was against, you know, a completely decimated Ravens defense. And this week, you know, this is a tougher matchup at Seattle. The Texans have like the 4th or 5th lowest team total of the week. So, you know, his touchdown upside is going to be a bit lower here. But he has been using his legs a lot more, which has helped his floor, especially in situations like this where he might not throw for multiple touchdowns. But having said that, this is an outdoor game. He tends to, you know, put up bigger numbers at home in domed environments, and this is outdoors Monday night. Don't have a forecast yet, but it's Seattle. It feels like it rains half the time there this time of year. So, you know, there could be rain there. There might not, but it's outdoors, so he takes a bit of a hit there. So I saw his ECR is QB 15, which seems a bit high. But yeah, I have him closer to QB 22, more of a, you know, low end QB 2 option in deeper leagues this week.
Yeah, when I went to the outline to throw him in there, you had already put him in there. So he's definitely the guy that kind of stuck out for me because I did want to talk about him, just knowing that he was coming off that big stretch there. But this is not a great matchup against the Seattle Seahawks. I mean, I think they're one of the better defenses of the league. Now, you know, they've been a little banged up lately, but we'll see if they get, you know, they have an extra day now, so I think they could even be better. So don't want anything to do with Stroud. I am low on Justin Fields. Justin Fields, I just don't know if we could trust him right now. I mean, Denver's a great defense, sure. They're overseas, sure. But we've seen this a couple of times now where it's either a blow up or it's just, you know, 3-4 quarter stretches of nothing for Justin Fields in this Jet offense. Now it looks like Garrett Wilson's going to be out. So you're probably going to see a focus on the run game. You'll probably have to target the backs and tight ends more, which is just going to lower your yards per attempt. And, you know, Fields could run a little bit more, but we're always expecting that. And I think this Carolina defense, you know, one of the things that I liked about them heading into last week against Dallas was that I think everyone just assumes Carolina is like one of the worst defenses in the league, but They've been playing some decent defense and have made some changes, to their run defense and their base defense and just the signal caller and just a lot of different little things that have added up for them. And so I'm not sure that this is a matchup to exploit the way it would have been, maybe 5 weeks ago or at any point last season. So I'm gonna be a little cautious with Justin Fields here. There's talks of him being benched, and once there are those talks, I mean, even if the coach gives him the cosign, he's thinking about it too. I mean, Fields just did nothing for half the season. He's done nothing. He's just kind of bailed himself out in the other half. So yeah, low on Justin Fields. Even I hate to say it because I love these running guys, but I mean, I almost feel more confident in Dart against that same Denver defense at this point, just because Fields has been so inconsistent. Even in Dart's losing effort, he still put up a decent fantasy score.
Yeah, so this is actually my prop for you. So I didn't cheat. I didn't see what you projected for him, but let's go Justin Fields passing yards. And I was like, talk about a tough projection right now. Early in the week, how low are we setting this? Because Garrett Wilson's probably going to miss. So I've been kind of tweaking it. As you were talking. I was moving up and down. But I'm gonna set the line for you.
Line up. What made you move it up while I was talking? Because I didn't say anything good about that.
No, I moved it down a lot, and then I moved it up slightly, like a stock. Garrett Wilson downful. Thank you. That's what I was looking for. And Lazard, he's away from the team right now. Doesn't matter.
Just free Arian Smith though, because I like him. Well, I think he should hand him be more involved.
156.5.
I want to take over, but it's either. This is ridiculous.
I don't want you to take. I don't know what side I want you to take. That's how crazy this is.
Oh my! And he played Miami, so that also in Dallas. So he played the two worst defenses, and he threw 46. I'm going to go under just because I think there's a legit benching risk, and we heard rumors report, and it's not even. They're not even practicing yet, and we've already heard rumors that some players on the Jets think Tyrod Taylor's their best quarterback, and this is Tyrod Taylor, like 30 whatever year old Tyrod Taylor. So that's not a good sign. And I mean, he threw for $197 in his lone start, and he threw for more yards than Fields did in the same number of attempts in Buffalo. I guess granted it was kind of garbage time, but I'm gonna go under just because I think there's a benching risk. There's a risk of just. We're going to go so stupidly run heavy that he could average 9 yards an attempt and just throw only 10 passes or something. So, we've seen that too. Coaches have just hid Fields. So I'm going to go under. It is a low number. It's hard to project that. How many completions do you have for him?
Not many. I have 25 pass attempts and 15 completions.
Makes sense.
I'm kicking myself because I went in. I try to have a prop from every game. And for that Ravens game, I was going to go Cooper Rush under 30.5 pass attempts because I thought either they just run the shit out of it and keep it close or get behind and just say, fuck it, put in Tyler Huntley. And that's exactly what happened. And instead I saw DeAndre Hopkins under 1.5 receptions, which is minus 120. I was like, wait, I'm projecting that minus 200. Let me take that instead. And he caught a pass at the end of the game on 4th and 15 to get 2. So just absolutely screwed
Track
that
them
up.
all. You just got to bet them all. Because I track the stuff I don't bet every week, and every week, it's plus EV to just bet more. I
agree, but it also goes the other way. A lot of the stuff I don't track hit, and then once I track it, it does. Anyways, I've been tracking a lot more this year. I have 20 plays every week, but this week. Put me down right now. Justin Fields, his prop will probably be over 160. I bet they set it 170, something like that. But give me the under because, like you said, they're just going to try to run the shit out of it, keep it close. They might be able to that way. If they do get down and he's struggling, then he's clearly an in-game benching risk at that point. This is one of those passing yard props where I think there's multiple outs for the under to hit. So I'm hoping books aren't listening to this, but I'm hoping they set it, 170 or higher. But interested to see.
They're not going to say that because there's chance of rain in the fourth, about 15%, but still chance of rain. And then winds are kind of pushing double digits. So I would think that that's usually, people probably hammer the under in that game, which would lower the yardage. And I'm guessing it would be around 160 is about fair. 160.
Oh, that would suck. I would still probably take the under, but that's less of a true play. But yeah, anything over 160, I'm going to be very interested in taking the under.
Just take the exacts, like you can do it for cardio. Like if you expect a guy to get 0 receptions, you can bet that. But I think you can do like 0 passing touchdowns at some spots. For Fields if you want to fade.
Well, his passing touchdown prop will be a half.
Half.
It'll be a half, and
Poverty.
They might actually have it juiced to the under. So I'm not sure you're getting.
You got to take the over on that, and then the under on his yardage because he'll hit a touchdown to like Stone Smart or some rando.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. We spent way too long on Justin Fields. Let's go to
No, we didn't.
Running back. Yeah, right. Top 5. Who you
got? Bijan, CMC, JT, Rico, Dowdle, and Kyron Williams.
Spicy. So you're expecting Chuba's?
Yeah. I have no idea if Chuba's.
I think he's still questionable to be.
Yeah, he's
fair.
questionable.
Okay.
Just projecting him out for now because it'd be fun to have Rico in the top 5. Is he like second or third in rushing right now? Just absolutely insane.
Yeah, no, he's been amazing. But got to throw out the Dolphins game and throw out the Cowboys game. So now we're back at ground zero. Like those are, it's ridiculous. The schedule is ridiculous.
Well, I mean, they're 2-point favorites this week. When's the last time you're going to see that? So, might be able to lean on him again this week.
My exact words to Stucky last week, because I bet the Jets spread against the Broncos. These are just the type of play that I have to make. They're in my veins. And 0-6 Jets team as a home dog to Carolina, I'm going to have to play the Jets. So probably be on some some anti Carolina props in this game somehow too. But I think Hubbard has a chance to be back. So I have Taylor, McCaffrey, Bijan, Josh Jacobs, and Jahmyr Gibbs. So a little more standard. Top 5 for now. Who you high on at running back? Week 7.
I'm high on J.K. Dobbins facing the Giants at home here. He's coming off a down game, had 14 carries, 40 rushing yards, and no receptions against the Jets. But this is a get-right spot here against the Giants, who rank 31st in DVOA against the run. Should be a more run-heavy game script. And Dobbins is still seeing you about twice as much early down work as RJ Harvey, which is not really happening for Harvey right now. And I'm not sure if Tyler Bidet was scratched because of the injury or that was just Sean Payton deciding to go with McLaughlin. But who knows? But either way, J.K. Dobbins is like the steady force right now. And this is the perfect potential game script for him. And great matchup here. So I view him as like a mid-range RB2. Same with the next guy, Jordan Mason, who, coming off the bye week, he managed to get, 13 carries for 52 yards and a touchdown in what was a brutal matchup against the Browns before the bye. Has a much better matchup here against the Eagles, who ranked 24th in DVOA. Not sure if Jalen Carter's going to be out again, but that would help, significantly if he's out again. Plus, Xavier Scott had a key fumble in that game, could be in the doghouse. So I just expect, a massive workload for Mason either way here. And plus, our guy, CJ Ham, is back. He could have an extra blocker on some run plays. Last year, Vikings running backs averaged 0.42 yards per carry more when CJ Ham was on the field. So it's a little sneaky angle for Mason to be more efficient this week. And again, he looked pretty good in what was, the toughest matchup in his last game. So, I'm treating Mason like a high-end RB2 this week.
Yeah, I mean, he's looked good for a while now. That was a good trade by Minnesota, in my opinion, to secure him, because he immediately kind of slotted in as their lead back, even though, I know Jones was still on the roster, but he turned into more of a pass catcher, I think. I think Mason looked like their best back immediately. So like that, I'm high on Kyron. Kyron Williams, ECR, running back 14. I know, the Rams were kind of maybe quieter than people hoped last week. It was like a 17-3 game that should have been 17-10, but They keep trying to give Mark Andrews the ball at the goal line for some strange reason. When has he ever let them down before? There. And but yeah, Kyron only, what was it, like, 13 carries, 50 yards, one touchdown last week. Did catch a couple balls for 37. Started to be involved more as a pass catcher, and still played 75% of the snaps. It was just one of those, lower volume type of games and lower scoring type of games. So I'm not too worried about him. I still think Corum is going to mix in a little more than he was earlier in his career. But Kyron Williams, remember, they just paid him. They just gave him a big contract. McVay goes to him every week. He plays 75% of the snaps pretty much every week. His low is in a game is 68. And in that game, he still had, 16 touches, 94 yards. So I think he's a high floor. And you mentioned you have him in your top 5. So high ceiling guy. He's, I think, like my running back 8 or 9. So not quite that high, but yeah, I'm right there with you. I think this is a good spot for him, even though the Jags have been a decent defense. It's still a neutral field. Might be without at least one of your starting receivers, either Atwell or Nakua. But if it's Nakua, that just opens up a ton of plays and yards that could potentially go to the run game and not the pass game, or to Williams as targets, given that he's caught 10 balls over the last 2 weeks. So I am high on Kyron. Think he could be in a little bit of a smash spot.
And you saw Corum's hurt, right? Corum, his ankle injury is not looking good.
It's official.
He might not even play this week.
I thought he was
they got travel. So yeah, Kyron could have a massive workload. Again, if Corum's out and Puka's out, he could see 20 plus carries here.
Is this a Kanata Mumpfield like double digit, like 15-1 touchdown bet? That seems it's setting up
Xavier
for, right?
Smith. Xavier Smith is in that like Deshaun Jackson role where he's just running wind sprints, right? Where I think he has one target this year.
Does he even get routes these days? I know he returns punts. Yeah, he's definitely a backup Atwell. Yep.
Yeah, he's a backup Atwell. He is out there just running wind sprints, and Stafford target him like 40 yards downfield. But yeah, definitely some. Everyone's going to be on Devontae's touchdown props if Puka's out. But I think some of these like fringe guys, like a Ferguson type, are going to be in play because that's 15 targets up for grabs if Puka's out.
Also, got to just bet Kyron 2 touchdowns because that's what usually happens in these spots. But who are you low on a running back for week number 7?
Yeah, so I'm low on Tony Pollard here. His value always gets a huge boost whenever Tajay Spears is out, which has been frequent the past 2 seasons. But once Spears is back, it's much more of a committee. They don't really want to give Pollard 20 plus touches a game, but that's his role when Spears is out. But last week, Spears outsnapped Pollard basically just because of the game script. The Titans got down early. They just went ultra pass heavy. So Spears is going to see an uptick in playing time. But if you think about it, that's going to be their potential game script every week. And again, Callahan was fired this week, so we don't really know what the new coaching staff thinks about this backfield. That usually hurts the lead back because all they have to do is go down. They have a lower floor in that situation. So, I have Pollard closer to RB3 flex this week, kind of in wait and see mode. But the days of him being an RB1 for us, where he was playing 98% of the snaps are over. So there's a lot more uncertainty there with him. And I'm low on Kenneth Walker. I don't really know what's going on here. This is the second straight game, and the 4th time out of 5 games where Charbonnet has outsnapped Walker. Charbonnet's out there getting most of the passing down snaps and the goal line work, and also mixing in, a ton on early down work. So Walker has been sort of pigeonholed into carries inside the 20s, which are the least valuable carries. And I'm the biggest Charbonnet fan. I think he's one of the best backups in the league, but I still think Kenneth Walker is the best running back in this backfield, especially in Clint Kubiak's scheme. And certainly if you look at their efficiency, that's the way it's shaping out. So I don't know what's going on there. Maybe they're just trying to limit Walker's workload to just keep him healthy. But he's much more of an RB3 flex option right now. Which is not what you wanted when you drafted him as a high-end RB2, and he was in our frozen pond because of that. But yeah, it's just weird seeing Kenneth Walker all the way down at RB28 right now for me. But that's just the way the splits are happening right now. What are your thoughts on that backfield?
I think this is one of those situations, kind of like JMO, where I don't think we want to get too low on him now, because I think the numbers are starting to show that he's out for, like, to your point.
Yeah.
And so the coaches will probably look at that and say, okay, Walker has a 46.2% success rate, Charbonnet 41.7 on the ground, Walker 4.7 yards per carry, Charbonnet 2.6. I know, there's some short yardage that has something to do with that, but still, I think this, coaches usually do look at like those basic kind of numbers like that. So my gut tells me, like, yeah, we got to lower him a little bit. Some people, but we kind of came into the year a little down on him because we knew Charbonnet would be more involved. But at this point, Walker's, 2.9 yards after the contact, and Charbonnet's at 2.4. So there's really nothing running the ball wise that says, okay, Walker's been worse, because his whole issue was, negative plays, but Charbonnet is averaging 2.1 yards fewer per carry. So I would think that they kind of switched that. So I'm going to try to be as conservative as I can within the boundaries of the model, because it's one of those kind of gut feel things.
Yeah, I'm with you there. And I think it does bounce back. And again, if you've been listening to me, I don't know why you drafted Kenneth Walker anyway. I think us Charbonnet owners are just pleased that he's offering RB3 value, even when Walker's healthy, because we know he's going to be, high end RB2 if he's out. Although with his efficiency right now, it's even hard to say that. But maybe he's out there just getting, a lot of the dirty work, similar to Tyler Algier, where teams know they're about to run it. And he's in a lot of short yardage situations, so that's kind of tough if you're getting a lot of goal line work. You only have 1 or 2 yards in front of you anyway. But yeah, I again, whenever I profess my love for Charbonnet, I'm always kind of saying that I still think Kenneth Walker is the best back in the backfield. And what you're alluding to, I think the coaching staff realizes that, and they probably do give him more work, but it's definitely murky enough to kind of not just lock him in as a solid RB2 at the moment.
I got the stat for you. This is hilarious. So, Zach Charbonnet, 38 of his 60 carries have come with 10 plus yards to go, which is good, right? Like, that's usually what you want. Guess how many yards per carry he's averaging on those 38 carries?
2.2.
10 plus yards to go. 2.6. That is terrible. He's essentially the same guy, whether it's 10 yards to go or 3. So, not ideal. I think it's another one of those situations where, there might be something schematically that they have to switch up, or what, because I mean, he looks decent out there. It's not like he's looking bad, but yeah, I'm surprised. I was surprised to see his yards per carry was quite that low, and he only has 1 first down on 36 carries. His long on the year is 10, and I mean, that's just, if he's really kind of threading the needle with these touchdowns here.
Yep.
If he doesn't get those, it could be ugly. So yeah, it might be at sell high even, because it could
Charbonnet.
Flip. Yeah.
I felt horrible 2 weeks ago. I bet on his under. It was against the Buccaneers though, but it just hasn't been there for him. And yeah, like I said, even if Kenneth Walker's out, I don't know if we just pencil him in as an RB1 anymore. So I would consider selling high, but that's risky. I think he does profile as like a high floor, high ceiling option still, but just hasn't been a great fit for Clint Kubiak's running scheme, to say the least.
And I just don't want backs who, even if they're both like low end RB2 flex types, I don't want 2 backs getting essentially a 50-50 split. Like those, it's just really hard to, manage that in fantasy. In best ball, it's fine, I guess, but you don't want a stack there either. So there's no real kind of situation where I want either of those guys. Like I would try to trade Walker too if I could, but hopefully he has a big game at some point soon. But I'm low on Cam Scatterboo this week. He was just a monster in that Eagles game, 3 touchdowns, just a massive workload. But going up against Denver, I think, is still a low floor situation for the backfield. The Giants ran the ball nearly 40 times in that game against the Eagles, a lot, and they converted almost every third down. So they were able to just stay on the field with the lead and keep running the clock. And we just don't know if that's going to be the case against Denver, because we just saw what Denver did to a couple of kind of shaky offenses with quarterbacks who are a little greener. So I think it's kind of a I wouldn't say a sell high because he's absolutely going to be involved. They don't have a bye. So Vidal is the guy I would sell high on, but the Giants aren't going 11 of 16 on third down against the Broncos. I don't think they're going to be able to rack up, 67 offensive plays and 39 carries for 172 yards and 4 touchdowns. And so Scatterboo, he played about 2/3 of the snaps, and that was a downtick from when Tyrone Tracy was out. We still don't know the exact split now that they had a longer time off. So just a couple questions. I just don't really want to mess with this Denver defense and call a guy an RB1 yet against, because Breece Hall, just a miserable, the whole Jet offense, but this Giants team's still liable to do that. They just lost to the Saints a couple weeks ago. It's not, pump the brakes a little bit, but Scatterboo does look great. Hopefully he has a bad game and you can buy low on him, because he's just better than, I did not think he was going to be this good. Like I'm pleasantly surprised with the Giants right now, I must say. Darius has been a little better. Scatterboo's been a lot better. But running back prop. Oof. Okay.
Yeah, what do you got?
Ramondre Stevenson in the dream matchup, because we know this Titans defense. But have you looked at Ramondre Stevenson's rushing lines lately? They are Javonte Williams-esque. 7 for 15, 11 for 54, 4 for 18, 9 for 38, 7 for 14, and 13 for 18.
Javonte from last year.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, let me make that clear.
Yeah.
However, this is the Titans. So he's carried 20 times for 32 yards over the past 2 weeks. But he does have 2 rushing touchdowns. He has fumbled 3 times on the year. There's just so much going on with Ramondre. So let's go fantasy points for Ramondre.
Oh, fantasy points. Oh, okay.
Yeah, half PPR.
All right.
Because we got to just kind of capture, like, is he going to live up to expectation against this automatic Titans run D? So let's go 11 and a half.
Under. 9.5 median. Because how much of that is a touchdown that he might not
He's
score?
Getting a touchdown, though. I'm trying to factor that in
right.
best I can.
Yeah, you're probably right.
I have it at 9.5 too, but I had to bump it up to 11 and a half.
This is like half PPR. Yes. Yeah, I think this is a great spot for him, and this is Raybon. He is going to run Stevenson as much as possible. He doesn't care if he fumbles. He doesn't care if everybody drafted Travion as an RB2. He does not care. Trust me. So yeah, I think this is a good spot for Stevenson. I think it wouldn't shock me if he clears that, but I think his median's closer to 9.5. So give me the under. I thought you were going to do who will throw for more passing touchdowns, Justin Fields or every single running back this week.
Ooh, that would. Ooh.
Or you could take you could combine like receivers and tight ends too, I guess. But
it would just push because everyone would be 0 probably. But
yeah, you're probably right.
I think that's the most likely outcome. No, at this point, it's 0 more likely than 1 for Fields. Are we at that point yet?
Yeah. I think Ty would be most likely outcome because he could still throw one, and then we could still see a running back throw a touchdown this week. I think Ty would be like 55%. But yeah, 0 is definitely the other likely outcome. But that'd be a fun side prop. I wish books would offer shit like that.
Maybe they will. All right, y'all are listening. Put it up, post it. Top 5 wide receiver. Who you got for week 7, Koerner?
So I love this. I don't love that Puka's out, but I'm projecting Puka out. But I love my top 2 because I've been saying this is his ceiling. And I have Amon-Ra St. Brown number 1, and I have Jackson Smith and Jigba number 2. They are so close.
Hell
yeah. I've been saying JSN, that's his ceiling. He has hit that baby. And Drake London number 3, I didn't even see I have him there. Holy shit. Spicy top 5. CeeDee Lamb number 4. I have him projected to return this week. And then Devontae number 5. If CeeDee doesn't return, I'd have Rashee Rice as my number 5. So very interesting top 5 this week.
Yeah, there's a lot of challenging guys like Devontae with Puka out, Rashee Rice coming off the suspension, Chase in with the quarterback situation, Jefferson with the quarterback situation, and I got Amon-Ra, JSN. Maybe we switch them at this point. Chase, Jefferson, London, and I probably should have London number 3. This is probably just an effect of us recording this Tuesday after the Monday night game, but yeah, London I think is in a good spot against this Niner defense. The Falcons will probably have to throw more than they did against the Bills. So, and I mean, London went off in that game. So, yeah, I might join you on that London number 3 because I don't feel as good about Chase and Jefferson now. The more I look, I mean, just Joe Flacco and whoever Carson Wentz / JJ McCarthy. Not ideal, but they are talented. Who you hiring at wide receiver?
I guess Drake London. And again, I'm projecting him number 3 with Darnell Mooney returning this week. So if Mooney's out, he'll probably still be wide receiver 3. But
it needs to be a healthy scratch.
Yeah, with Dwayne Ray McLeod as a healthy scratch.
Yep.
But so I mean, I put Romeo Doubs here, but really it's Romeo Doubs and Matthew Golden. I think both Packers wide receivers are trending up. The whole passing offense is trending up. And as you hinted heading in the season, they're just not as run heavy as last year. And, Jordan loves playing at a high level. He loves to throw downfield. So, Doubs and Golden, they have really high ceilings for where they're ranked, but their underlying usage is also stabilizing their floor. I think we can count on both those guys to have multiple catches every week, which is, I think it's massive for their long-term value. So I have, Doubs as a low-end wide receiver 2, Golden as a mid-range wide receiver 3, but with more upside than guys in that range. And that whole wide receiver group is kind of tricky to project right now because Dontavian Wicks hurt his ankle. I don't know if he's going to play this week. Christian Watson sounds like he's nearing a return. I don't know if he's going to return this week. So, their value could fluctuate up or down based on their availability, but that's where I have them right now. But definitely high on the Packers passing offense in general right now, and those 2 wide receivers specifically. And then when it comes to the Buccaneers wide receiver room, I have no clue who's playing this week. Right now I have Godwin out. I have Ibuka sitting this week, and I have Mike Evans returning. That's how I have it projected. But I have Tez Johnson right around wide receiver 40. I think he's the big play upside guy in this group, where Sterling Shepard's going to be the high floor option with everyone out. But I love what I've seen from Tez these past couple weeks. He's smaller wide receiver. He's only 155 pounds, but they love to, have him do go routes, scheme up plays for him. So I think he's a big play waiting to happen. And anytime I can invest in Baker Mayfield in any way right now, I'm going to do it. So I think Tez Johnson's somebody that we have to have on our radar and just wait and see, what's up with Mike Evans and Ibuka later in the week. But, as of now, I have Tez ranked right around wide receiver 40.
Yeah, I'm high on Sterling Shepard for kind of the same reason. This goes for just whoever the 3 starting receivers for the Bucs are. Pencil me in as high on all of them. I wouldn't be scared off by Ibuka if he's good to go. Wouldn't be scared off of Evans in his return. I wouldn't be scared off of Tez if he starts. And I'm not scared of Shepard, who has been, that first in line guy to back up everybody when they're out. And this Lions defense has just been decimated by injury. We'll see if they get guys back, but it's not. I mean, this defense is kind of trending the way it was last year. Now they did face Mahomes last week, but still, last 5 quarters, Detroit Lions have given up 6 receiving touchdowns to wide receivers in the last 5 quarters. Jamar Chase has 2, Higgins has 1, Marquise Brown has 2, and Worthy has 1. That is just absurd in such a short amount of time. So yeah, you have to target this Lions defense, and Baker's playing at such a high level that anyone who's on the field, so that even if Shepard and Tez are the number 3 and 4 in some order, just because they're getting routes, they're liable to score a touchdown. So I'm not even gonna bump down Tez even if both Ibuka and Evans go. Like I think Tez is still gonna be in the mix as that number 4 guy. We saw that at times with like Jalen McMillan last year. So yeah, it's this is just a smash spot for Tampa Bay and Baker and everyone involved. Who you low on?
I'm doing a 180 this week. I'm actually low on Tet McMillan, T-Mac, as his mom wants us to call him. He finally cashed in.
How did you end up ranking him last week? What was your final rank on him?
I can see right now. I think it was like 6. wide
Yeah,
receiver
I
6,
think it
something
was
like
around
that.
there too. I was like so surprised when I looked at him. I was like, wait a minute,
Yeah.
where did he come from?
Oh, really? Oh, did
Yeah,
you move up later in the week? Because I think, let me
I
see.
think so. Yeah.
Yeah, like around wide receiver 10-ish.
Okay.
Which was right around ECR. I figured ECR was around me. I didn't see him popping in ECR differential. But again, we've been saying, he was due to score a touchdown, and he scored 2 last week. Now that was against the Cowboys, and he only caught 3
Yes.
passes for 29 yards. So the rest of his box score wasn't great. And they were, very run heavy with Rico Dowdle. And I just worry that's going to be the case again this week against the Jets. Again, they're slight favorites. I'll probably be betting on the Jets with you. But either way, I think the Panthers are going to try to be as run heavy as possible here with Rico Dowdle. And potentially Chuba is back, so they can have both backs and run the show of the ball. Plus, Tet could see Sauce Gardner quite a bit here. And Jalen Coker might be back, who I think will actually ding Tet's target share a bit. Because we have to remember, Tet heading in the season, Coker was healthy. Adam Thielen was there. His stock really went up when they traded away Thielen. And, Coker went down and was placed on the IR. So both factors kind of boosted Tet's target share in my model. And not that it's going to move the needle much, but Jatavian Sanders could return this week. It's worth just mentioning. But Jalen Coker is the guy that I think could actually eat into Tet's target share a bit. And they might already be run heavy here in this spot. And he might be facing Sauce. So having said all that, he's all the way down to wide receiver 20 for me, which is a pretty big drop off from last week. So just wanted to throw that out there. You're still playing him if you have him, but just I'm not projecting him inside my top 10 again this week.
Yeah, he's wide receiver 18 from UC. I'm right there. I do think that's a good call. I believe we talked about that with I think Sutton last week, right? It was kind of the same situation.
Well,
yeah,
I opened up high on him. You laid all the reasons why to be low, and I was like, makes sense to me. That's usually where I get to on like Friday, Saturday, diving in the matchup. And then what, Sutton had 1 catch last week. It was the Evan Ingram show. So you called that one.
I think him and Garrett Wilson both. I mean, there was just a lot of ugliness from stud wide receivers. So that I think Roma Dunze is actually wide receiver 5 in ECR right now. Yes, he is. And I mean, that was a down game for him last week.
Well, he had that touchdown call
on Monday.
back.
Yep. Yeah, but I mean,
so that
still
sucked.
Finished with like 32 yards. So
yeah,
I think there's going to be some bounce backs this week. But the guy I had wanted to talk about was DJ Moore, and then now it's like looking like more and more like he's going to be out. But even if he's back, I would be low on him. I just think that was you kind of pointed out on our waiver pod. Burden is starting to see an uptick. You're going to have to get Loveland and commit on the field probably more than you did against Washington, and it's just trending in the wrong direction for Moore. And he hasn't had a good season at all. He's kind of bailed himself out in one of the games, I think, with some carries, and then another game he had a touchdown. But receiving yardage wise, he had 4 straight games, the last 4 games, 46 yards or fewer, and the first game was just 3 for 68 and scoreless. So it's been a rough go for Moore. It's long catch post week 1 is just 18 yards. And, if he doesn't get those an additional 8 yards on the ground in week 1, he's still not. I mean, it was still bad because I think did he lose a fumble that week too. So it's just been a shit show for Moore. So I think you don't really want to look at him like a bona fide starting, wide receiver 2 type that he came into the year as. I think Dunze took that spot, and now I think it's just going to get even more murky. But as far as guys that are still, I think, ranked too high in ECR, Marquise Brown, even though he caught the 2 touchdowns, it's probably going downhill from here just because there's so many bodies now. I mean, you got Rashee Rice and Worthy are probably getting 80+%. And then Thornton is still there. They still want to throw him some deep balls. Juju, they still want him to run block. And Brown's got to kind of fit in with those guys. So, and then you still got Kelsey and Noah Gray. So I think, Brown, if you could sell him high coming off a 2 touchdown game after Worthy came back, that would be ideal. Obviously, most people are going to know that Rice is back too, but still, I think this is probably the peak of Brown's value.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. And DJ Moore, good call there. He reminds me of 2024 Deebo Samuel. Just
Ooh, yep.
3 to 4 catches, 30 yards, and then they just try to get him involved by giving him a couple carries for 8 yards, and that's about it. And then you got to get lucky with touchdowns, but just it hasn't been there for him in this scheme. We kind of thought he would have a wide range of outcomes in the scheme. But did you said that there's been some updates? The last I saw was he was in the hospital. Have you seen anything?
Yeah, no, I mean,
since
I
then?
had written him in, which was kind of like,
Oh yeah,
I think I wrote him in, and I didn't realize that he was like in that dire of condition. So hopefully he's all.
well, we don't really
good,
know
but it
what
doesn't sound.
the problem,
Yeah, it doesn't.
what the issue is, right? We still have no idea.
He's okay. So he's day to day. So yeah, good call. He is day to day. That was a report by ESPN 35 minutes ago. So yeah, there's a chance he could play, which means you will be tempted to play him. But number one, that is just super mysterious anyway. Number two, he just hasn't been productive. So
That's weird.
he would be a wait and see guy for me. You can't really, you can't sell low on him right now, but 3 catches for 42 yards. He's got 5 or 6 targets in every single game. He's right in the middle of the tail. Like no low tail, no high tail target.
Right.
That sucks. That's not a place you want to be. It's like the NBA, 8-9 seed, play-in seed. It's just not what you want to be in this offense.
Yeah.
All right. What are you doing for the wide receiver prop?
All right. So I had no idea what I was doing, but I figured it out. It's been a long time. It's been 6 weeks. Everyone's been waiting for this guy to finally play. And he's playing this week. Rashee Rice, over under 64.5 receiving yards.
Ooh, yeah. I was just like, if I had the prop for this week, I was going Rashee Rice too. And
Nice.
It is so tough just because of I think the deep ball, adds variance with Mahomes throwing it at a higher rate, because if you hit one, it's kind of like one of those out of pure situations. So this is, let me see. And then you don't know if they're going to play him the normal amount of snaps, because they kind of have the luxury at this point of bringing him up to speed if he's not in quote unquote football shape. So
yeah, which I'm assuming he is. I mean, he's not coming back from an injury, so I'm hoping his conditioning has been,
the guy who got suspended for 6 games. You trust him to be in football shape?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this has been a suspension that's been like years in the making, and he has changed since then.
I mean, he's Jermaine Burtoning out here. That's a good line. I'm going to go under, and the reason I'm going to go under is because I think that he could catch 6 balls and still go under that, just because you have Worthy, Brown, and Thornton, I would probably say are more likely to go deep routes. So then that kind of pigeonholes Rice back into that very low A-dot role, which he's highly efficient at and will get yards after the catch. But he could get a lot of catches and, kind of finish like an Amon-Ra game, 9 for 45 or something like that. And they'd be fine with it because, again, they're just launching bombs to Worthy and Brown and Thornton still got to get his. So yeah, I'm going to go under, but that's a good line. I'm just too much uncertainty for me to go. That would make him the top receiver on the team, right? Immediately. And they got so many options now that I just don't know exactly what he's going to come back to. All right. Tight end, week 7, top 5, Sean Koerner. Who you got?
I got Trey McBride, Tyler Warren, Sam Laporta, Travis Kelce, and Tucker Kraft.
Wait, is Jake Ferguson hurt? Did he get hurt?
Oh, no. I have CeeDee Lamb back and 100%. And that docks Ferguson. I think I even have Turpin back. So that's enough to have Ferguson just barely under Tucker Kraft. So I guess Ferguson probably is my tight end 5. But I'm just assuming Cowboys are at full health now.
Dude, this is tough now because I had Ferguson tight end 1. So now you're making me like, I'm like, wait a minute.
Again, it's Tuesday morning. I am not Raybon. I am not judging your initial projections. And Lamb can
I am now because now I have to check to make sure.
You have how many hours until they play? You have 300 hours to sort this out. If Lamb's out, Ferguson's right back in a number 1 for me too. So I think it's fair to still rank him number 1.
Ferguson leads all tight ends in catches against man coverage this year. Yeah. Okay.
Nice.
Ferguson, McBride, Tyler Warren, Tucker Kraft, and George Kittle if he plays. If he doesn't, I think it's not Kelce. If he doesn't play, then Yeah, then Sam Laporta, Dallas Goedert. Okay,
Yeah.
that makes more sense.
Yeah, I have Kittle projected. He's my tight end 7. Tonjes is playing well. They could just kind of ease Kittle back, so I don't have him playing his full snap share. But yeah, I have Kittle in there, tight end 7. But yeah,
Oh
weird
yeah,
week.
I gotta lower him too because he's
Who?
remember that was we were talking about the Atlanta
Oh,
Buffalo
yeah.
have the two
Yeah.
best tight end DVPs. I know Knox finally got his touchdown, but still not a ton that we liked out of those tight ends otherwise. So yeah, I'd probably go with Porter just because this game sets up as such a shootout. I'd probably put Laporta there in that spot. Who you high on?
I'm high on Mike Mayer again this week. He's my tight end 8 now. And this time last week I had no clue if he was going to return from his concussion, which I figured he would. I think he missed 2 games with it, so figured he would come back last week, and then wasn't sure if Bowers was going to suit up or not. Bowers is expected to miss again this week, so Mayer's going to be the lead tight end. And again, this guy was a potential first-round pick not too long ago. So anytime he can get a spot start with Bowers out, he's going to be a top 10 option for me. Very talented pass catching and blocking tight end. He's a two-way tight end, sort of a Kittle, Tyler Warren type. So yeah, I have him top 10 this week. Tight end 8, but if Kittle's ruled out and both Lamb and Turpin are back, he might be closer to my top 5. But if Mayer is out there, he's an excellent 1 week rental again.
Yeah, I mean, I think that I still don't trust Geno Smith, but Mayer.
Fair.
I mean, that's the easiest guy to throw to in outside of Genti for Geno, so it should go well. It should. But no, I do like Mayer as well this week. I am high on Zach Ertz though. He came off that goose egg and he's seen his snap rate decrease a little bit over the past few weeks, but not substantially. And this Cowboy defense is a very zone heavy outfit. They've been that all year, and that's going to benefit a guy like Ertz, who is going to be very involved. And I don't know for sure what the health status is going to be of McLaurin and Noah Brown. They're clearly not anywhere close to 100%, and Debo might not be either. So I think this is another spot for Ertz where he's probably just going to rack up catches over the middle. Should be a back and forth game. Dallas just scores and they give up points, and Washington can kind of do the same thing. So I know kind of scary with that goose egg just 2 weeks ago, but Dallas, I mean, this is a team that's just it's gonna give up a lot of catches to tight ends. They gave up 9 to Mason Taylor and 4 more to Ruckert in week 5. They gave up just 5 to Carolina, but they were without their starter. And Tommy Tremble, 4 catches for him is pretty massive, and 60 yards on 5 catches, 5 of 5 for 60 yards to Tremble and Mitchell Evans. So I still want to attack Dallas with the tight end as well. So I like Ertz this week. Who are you low on?
I'm low on TJ Hawkinson. He's all the way down to tight end 17 for me, which is not what you wanted when you drafted TJ. I think he was drafted like tight end 7 in ADP, but not sure who's going to be the quarterback for them this week. JJ McCarthy should return to practice, but they might be fine just rolling out Carson Wentz one more game to make sure McCarthy's healthy, or just not play him again. Who knows? But the target competition got even stiffer with Jordan Addison back in the mix. Assuming he's not benched for the first quarter of this game, we might actually see a full game from Addison, which is going to ding, potential targets away from Hawkinson. And the Eagles, have been pretty solid against tight ends. So having said all that, I still think Hawkinson's a really good tight end, but he's all the way down to tight end 17 because we have a lot of these other guys just stepping up. These waiver wire guys like, Darren Waller, your guy Zach Ertz, I have ranked ahead of him. Harold Fannin, Michael Mayer. I have Mason Taylor ranked ahead of him this week, if you could believe it. So just a lot of little minor things pushed Hawkinson all the way down to tight end 17 for me to open the week.
Yeah, and the issue with him is at some point he'll probably go off, but he's just no longer predictable. And the fact that the quarterback situation is what it is, and the fact that you got a healthy Addison and Jefferson, it's probably going to remain that way for the rest of the year. And Josh Oliver always is there to vote for a touchdown here and there as well. I am low on Waller, actually. He has seen an uptick in routes, so that was very good. But he's just doing too much of his damage now in the red zone. And now you're an underdog in Cleveland. Could be a weather game. And there's just not many touchdowns to expect out of this Dolphin offense in this spot. This doesn't set up, at least on paper, as like a shootout, potential shootout against the Chargers. This is a game where the Dolphins are implied for just 19 points. And that equates to what? I mean, let's see. Not many touchdowns is what I'm getting at. So let's see, that would be about 1.3, maybe, under 1.5 passing touchdowns for Tua in this game, given that implied total. Mm-hmm. And that is just not what you want when a guy like Waller, who's just been living in the red zone. Eventually teams are going to scheme and just take him away. And we know McDaniel's scheme, people tend to catch on. So yeah, Waller for me is just another one of these kind of hit or miss boom or bust guys. I'd much rather have a guy like Michael Mayer or even Ertz this week, just based on projected volume and not as much reliance on touchdowns. All right, that is gonna do it. That was a long one. Oh, we gotta do prop.
Well, you still have your prop.
That's me. Yep. Half PPR points. Michael Mayer versus Taysom Hill. Mayer is a 4.5 point favorite.
Damn it. I'll go Mayer. I think I have him more like 4 points higher, but he just has a higher floor. Taysom, just a wide range of outcomes. So in that case, I would probably take it. Like if you set a money line and had Taysom like plus 200, I'd probably take that, and I'd take Mayer minus 4.5. But that's a good line. And yeah, I just at this point I'm going to try to invest in Mayer as much as I can until Bowers is back. So give me Mayer minus 4.5.
Yeah, I just wanted to throw Taysom in there because I have no clue how to project him. But he did get in the end zone, and who knows what's going on with trades and where we'll be at the end of the week. So yeah, just wanted to throw that in there. But that's going to do it for our NFL Week 7 player projections episode. Be sure to subscribe to the Fantasy Flex podcast so you don't miss an app all season long. Check out the Fantasy Labs app. Use code FLEX20 for $20 off. We'll be back with our DFS preview tomorrow and some of our favorite touchdown scorers on Friday on TanPod. Sean is on X at @_oddsmaker. I'm at Chris Raybon. We're at those same handles on the Action app. It's free. It's award-winning. Go download it. Until next time, let's get this money.